Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification, and I'm just going to keep on bringing you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That 40-ish and $100 range, and most of these are way less than that, and a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And I got 3 fragrances for you guys right here today that I believe have matured into something that has let me increase the overall rating what I will give these things. The performance is bumped up, they are more believable, they are richer, they're just more polished, overall better fragrances than when I first bought them. So stay tuned, and I'm going to go over 3 fragrances that I think are bona fide gems now. So let's go ahead and kickstart things off with Lattafa's Rad Luxe. The reason why I bought this fragrance to begin with is because I was at one of those mom and pop stores and I seen it there and I smelled it and I really liked it. I said, wow, I smelled it more than once. It was like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I've made up my mind. I want this fragrance. I got it, got shipped to my house. I smelled it and I was like, it's nice. But why did I want this one so bad? It's good. I'm not mad that I bought it. It's a good smelling fragrance. But it just wasn't blowing me away like it was in the store. And I think because in the store, that thing had been sitting on the shelf, getting sprayed, letting the oxygen getting in there, stirred up and stuff like that. And it was fully mature. So I smelt it at its #1 state, at its most elevated pinnacle of its life. And when I got it, it was just an infant. So what this is I'm just going to go over like the accords that I smell because there's a million weird notes in this thing. It's a fresh, sweet, like a fruity, sweet, fresh, somewhat spicy, little bits of green spices, gumball kind of a fragrance. Like the sweetness is like a gumball thing. I think the sweetness is coming from the notes of there's vanilla, strawberry, and watermelon. And somehow, with all that stuff together, it doesn't smell like a watermelon gumball. It just smells like the gum balls that you get out of the machine. But it's got freshness. There's like ice in here. It's got some green spiciness. There's rosemary, or I know there's juniper in here. But without going into the notes again so much, it's a sweet, fruity, fresh, green, aromatic, very versatile and long-lasting fragrance. When I first got it, it was like a 5-hour fragrance. Now, it's easily 7 or 8 hours. Not necessarily pushing off hard, but for the first 3 or 4 hours, you're gonna have a good scent bubble, and you'll smell it. You'll still get whiffs on that thing 7 hours into it. So I was working last time I wore this, and that's impressive. So that's why I will bump this thing up. It was a 6 when I rated it at first. This scent profile is a 7. Like when I smelled it, just a gem status, flatline gem scent profile. Extra performance, 7.5 is what my overall rating this is. So I bump it up a whole 1.5. Bona fide gem. About $23 or so, maybe less on Amazon. Up next is one that I liked when I initially smelled it. I blind bought this thing. It was super cheap. It was like under $20 on Amazon. So that's one of the reasons why I purchased it. And I'm talking about Maison Alhambra's Afro Leather. And this is definitely a leather dominant fragrance. It's a lot of new, smooth leather coupled with some warm, inviting, spicy cardamom. There's also some patchouli. There's cumin. And there's bergamot, and the bergamot is in the base of this thing. The cumin adding a little bit of animalic spiciness to it. And the bergamot, I think, just gives it a little bit more of a vibrance. I think it keeps it from being too rich and too dark and too heavy and too weighty. Even though it's got all the heavy stuff in it, I think the bergamot elevates it a little bit and kind of gives it a little bit more of a wow compliment factor. The reason why I'm going to bump this thing up is not because the scent profile got any better. I think it kind of stayed the same, but the performance has enhanced drastically. I think this was like, I don't think I was getting that good a performance 4 or 5 hours. Now I'm getting like 7. So I feel like I rated this a 7. And I said, I think I can go up as high as a 7.5. Well, I'm definitely giving this thing an 8. So I bumped this one up a whole point just because the performance has enhanced that much. It's gotten like 60% stronger and longer lasting. Scent profile alone was the same, which is fine because it smelled awesome right out the gate. And up next, one that I saw on Fragrantica with crazy high ratings. So I blind bought this thing. I didn't know what it smelled like. I didn't know anything about the cologne. I never smelled it. So I was like, what is the hype on this thing? Why is it getting such high ratings? When I smelled it, I was like, it smells good. It's nice. It's really nice, but it's not like, oh my goodness, wow, nice, but it was nice. So I'm going to talk about Sceptre Malachite. This is November 2024 for reference. I think this thing is still like 4.7 something with like 400 something votes on Fragrantica. Like pretty much everybody loves this thing. And again, I thought it smelled good. The problem I was having with it is it had like some kind of a abrasive, frizzy thing going on right up top when I smell it. Like when you open up a can of Sprite and the carbon kind of like, or the CO2 will hit you like in the nose and kind of take your breath away a little bit. Like that's what was going on with this. It was a little bit abrasive. That's all gone. It's all gone. And now you're left with this energetic, vibrant, uplifting bergamot, rich, juicy black currant. It's got a creamy nature to this thing. It's got a touch of mixed spices just floating around in there. There's some sweet lavender, wood, musk. The fragrance that is cloning has a creamy mango tropical thing going on, and this is definitely a tropical creamy mango. I don't think I smelled so much mango at first. I definitely am getting like that ripe Florida mango. I picture the ones that are just like turning color and stuff like that. They're kind of squishy. Like I definitely get some of that in this fragrance. And I rated it a 7 out of 10. This thing is definitely an 8 out of 10. And the performance also has bumped up on this. So it cleaned up its act. It smelled good, but it's just smoother and less abrasive now, and the performance has bumped up, so it is a bona fide gem. All of these are bona fide gems. This is the most expensive one. It's like $33. The others are like low $20 to under $20. So for the price point, it's really hard to beat these fragrances. Lattafa and Maison, Alhambra and Armaf and Afnan, they are giving these designers a run for their money. It's good for us because they're all like competing with each other, so they're all like trying to increase the quality and the performance, but yet keeping the prices still competitive. It's awesome for all of us. So that's 3 fragrances, and I know I'm going to have some more in later videos that, man, I'm starting to get addicted to these ones because they just smell that good. So with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.